Good morning. Actually, evening. Yeah. Boy, it's been a weird day. Anyway, I'm coming from my office today, and it's been a couple of months since I posted anything on this channel. Today is actually my birthday. I am 47 years old today, and I've been kind of putting off this video for a little bit. Because I just really wanted to think about it. As most of you know by now, I've been in college for a really long time, and I graduate now on October 18th. Um, and I just want to talk a little bit about my experience of college. When you grow, like when you're a little kid and you have all these great little kid friends, and then as you get older, you realize that okay, well, they're kind of drifting apart and they're not really your friend anymore. And then you get into your teen years and you think, oh, I've met, the perfect people and we're going to be friends forever. And then you hit your 20s and you realize, okay, maybe not so much my friends forever. You might hold on to one of those people. In your lifetime, you will make 3 to 4 friends, tops, that are lifelong, true blue friends. Now, where am I going with all this and what does it have to do with college? Well, it has been my experience that when I started going to college, before I've always been super intelligent and very kind of just quiet, and I would study a lot. I love to study. I've been a terminal student my whole life. But I would never say anything if someone upset me or if someone kind of put me down. I wouldn't really open my mouth a whole lot about it. And well meaning friends have given a lot of advice, and I just smile, okay, and just say, well, thanks for that. And you just kind of let it go. In the last 4 years, I have lost almost all of my friends. And part of that is because I was always the cookie baking, tea pouring, happy, oh, come sit in my parlor, let's talk, kind of friend. And I would always listen. The one thing I didn't pay attention to, though, is that a lot of my friends weren't listening to me. A couple of months ago, actually, it's been about 6 months ago now, I was invited out to lunch with a friend. And she wanted to go to this little boutique type restaurant. We have 3 or 4 of them around here, and the food was bloody awful. And I knew that going in. But it's what she likes, so we just went. And then every time I would say something or start to talk about school or start to talk about my kids or, just interact on a social level, within 3 to 4 words into my sentence, she would walk right over the top of me. And every conversation I've had with her is all about her. No matter what I say, it's turned around and it's all about her. And I thought, okay, well, it kind of just dawned on me, gosh, every conversation I've had is like this. What value do I have? So a little assertiveness later, you kind of realized that you were a friend of convenience. You were the one that when everyone else quit listening, you were always the one that would listen. So what I've discovered is that over time, when you get smarter, either academically or you gain more wisdom from life, a lot of people have learned just living will teach you. Oh man, mistakes will teach you. I've had the privilege of having both. I've had a kind of a rough upbringing and a little bit, bounces and bruises. And if you haven't, then you really haven't lived. Everybody needs to have those bounces and bruises somewhere. But then I went to college, and the area of study that I'm studying is psychology, and I learned so much about myself. It was scary, and somewhere around third year of college, I was like, oh my God, do I really want to pursue this? And I did. It started to scare me because more and more I was seeing myself in the pages of textbooks, and I was seeing my life and my behaviors and my habits and things that I did and people that were around me and all kinds of craziness. And I realized that the reason I was losing friends is because none of my friends would allow me to talk about my school. And for me, gosh, that's all I talked about. I was so excited about that. It's like my daughter, she's an ice skater, and all she talks about is ice skating. But when you realize that nobody really wants to hear it, and so I would, win a scholarship or be honored for one thing or another academically, and I just quit posting it on my Facebook, and I wouldn't talk about it, and I kind of kept it to myself, which really made those little victories hollow. But when you realize that the people in your life really didn't want to hear it, and then you start to think about, okay, well, why don't they really want to hear it? What is going on? They're supposed to be my friend. What is going on? Well, here's the thing. As you grow in intellect and in maturity, and you meet more people, you have more experiences, you gain wisdom, you realize that those people, they were your friend at one time, and you do still care about them, but you've outgrown them. And I finally hit the point where you realize, holy cow, I am the smartest person in the room. Well, my cousin Charlie, I put that on my Facebook one time, and my cousin Charlie came back with a comment and he said, if you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. If you are the smartest person in the room, then you can't learn anything there. You need to find a room that you can grow in. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not growing, if you are not adding to your life and you are sitting stagnant, then you are literally dying. You can outgrow habits, hobbies, people, environments, and you can even outgrow yourself. And when that starts happening, you really need to introflect on yourself. Start questioning why. Why am I going through this? Why do I feel this? Like, God, this sucks. My friends don't talk to me. They don't want to hear about anything I'm excited about. My knowledge base is far greater than theirs. And, you can't go through 4 years of psychology with a double major like I have and expect to stay the way you were when you started. I had no idea that when I began my academic journey that I would change as much as I have, and then I would mature more than I already was. And I thought I had it together pretty well. I mean, I've been married for 29 years, and I've raised 4 kids, and all that. You think you have it together, and what I realized is, 10 years ago, I didn't know crap. I really didn't. I thought that I did, and I had enough wisdom up to that point, but in almost 4 years of school, I've realized that I am such a very different person. My tolerance, well, forgive the blatancy, but my bandwidth for BS is gone. I have no bandwidth for nonsense. There, I don't deal with negativity anymore. The way I handle problems and solutions is very different. But it's okay if you outgrow your friends. That's what happens when you're little. You kind of outgrow, directions change, interests change. It doesn't mean you stop loving them. It means that you change direction, and it's okay to love them from a distance. And it doesn't mean you have to be all up in their Kool-Aid like you were when you were 10. But you learn to live your best life, but at a distance. And strangely, it's good for you, and it's probably good for them too. I was kind of crushed though because I realized why are my friends are just, unless they need something, they don't call me. They're not interested. Every time I talk about school, they get upset with me. I've actually had a couple of them say, "You think you just know it all? You need to stick your academics back in the closet and leave there." And I've heard some pretty harsh comments, but when you become more skilled at something, you handle things differently. When you become skilled in psychology, you handle people differently. And I've just realized not to allow myself to be walked on anymore. And I realized that some of the people that I surrounded myself with were walking on me. And I was nothing more than that friend that they went to when they were bored because I'd pour tea and give them cookies and sit and listen for hours, knowing full well that no advice that I gave them would ever be listened to. They were just, okay, I'm bored, so I'm their current play toy, someone to bug because no one else is around. Whatever the reason, everybody has that one friend. The best thing to do is to surround yourself with people who push you to be the very best version of yourself. But if you are surrounded currently by people who are tearing you down, who think what you're doing is stupid, who think that suddenly you're stuck up, or you think that, that you're better than them, or they make comments like, God, you think you're better than everyone else. You're so snobby. Comments like this have been made. But you need to surround yourself by people who don't make those comments, people that lift you up, people that buoy you up and will walk beside you through your journey, and people that will say, hey, keep going. You're doing great. Don't give up. Don't quit. What can I do to help you? Those are the kinds of friends that you need. People that are going to tear you down no matter how long you've known them. You kind of need to distance yourself from. So if people think that you're stuck up or whatever just because they don't understand that your worldview has changed, it doesn't mean that you're snobby. It doesn't mean that you're stuck up. It just means that you have changed. You have grown. Your worldview, your perspective, the way you see things, your education has taught you things that are different. Your life experience. Some of you, I've heard your stories. You've been through hell and you learned amazing things and you wouldn't go back to that. So why should you allow someone to try to force you to go back to that? If you have that kind of friend that just tells you, oh my God, she's just this, she's that, she's driving me crazy, and ever since she started this, I can't stand it, and or he or she, whoever, don't let people dictate the path to your life. As long as you are growing, you're living, and you're expanding, just make sure what you're doing is positive. See, here's the thing. When people look at you, they see literally the sum total of your 5 closest friends. Who are your 5 closest friends? What are they like? Are they negative, positive, cheerful? Are they crazy? Are they reckless? I mean, what kind of people are they? You are the sum total, meaning that you are the average of all of those people. When people see you around all your friends, they think, oh, well, she must be just like them, or well done, she's just like them. It just depends on the situation. You could have some really great friends. But if you have friends that are tearing you down and you tend to allow that to happen, it's not good. Here's the thing. People are influenced by people. People, their words, their actions, what they say, whether it's to you or away from you, they affect you. They shape you. They make you who you are. They decide if you're going to be trusting or jaded. People shape people. And I know that, oh, well, no one will control me. And well, yeah, you may not think so, but in very micro ways, people shape people. And I've had some friends where I just got to where I cannot believe I've allowed this to go on for as long as I have. So you walk away from it. But at the same time, you're realizing I have trust issues now. Because of this, I have trust issues now. How did that happen? Why did I let that happen? So you got to learn to not let people affect you and try to stay as authentically you as possible. But in life, you need to better yourself. And if you have outgrown people, you need to move on. And if you do it by loving people at a distance, that's okay. It doesn't matter how long you've known people. You need to be very careful about who you share your bubble with. Who are your 5 closest friends? What influences do you allow in your life? Are you growing or are you dying? Do you have friends that are holding you back? The thing is a lot of times when people hold you back and they get kind of uptight with you because you're growing and they're not, it kind of says something about them, and it could be just a jealousy issue of, man, I wish I could do what he's doing. I wish I could accomplish the things that she is doing. You might have that conversation and say, hey, what's going on here? You said this, it's kind of hurtful, it's not cool. Can we talk about this? If you have someone who is straight up jealous of you and you can't have that conversation because they're not willing to let it happen, you need to walk away. I don't care how long you've known them, how much you love them, you need to walk away. Because sometimes you get on a really great path and you are in the direction you're supposed to be going, you're starting to see success in things. You need to continue on that path. You need to make new friends. You need to strive to meet people that are like in your field. You want to be successful, meet people who have already succeeded at what you're doing. If you say you love art and music, go befriend your local art and music teacher. Learn as much as you can from people who have come before and make friends with people that are, that share those interests that you have. The other thing you need to do is spend time alone. If you want to learn who you are, spend time alone. It's nice to just sit in a quiet space. And I don't mean with the cell phone in your hand and the TV blaring and the radio on. And no, find that quiet space and just spend time with yourself. Think about what you want to do. Maybe journal a little bit. That's a good way to talk to yourself, is to write. I like to do that. And it kind of helps put things into perspective. If somebody's hurt you, kind of talk it out with yourself and say, okay, why was I hurt about this? Is this someone I need to let go of? Is this someone that I can maybe fix this by having a rational conversation with? I have had to literally, verbally put my foot down and say, if you are going to try to hold me back, you need to leave my life. I love you, but I don't need this, and I don't need this negativity. And I hate being like that. But I've had to have that conversation a couple times, and it's really hard. You cannot have people pulling you down. You need to align yourself with people and things that have the same values as you do, as long as those values are improving and growing. Now, I don't want to make this over long. We're already almost to 15 minutes. But my experience has been that as I'm growing, people are just washing out of my life right and left. And I'm expected to stay the same mousy, cute cookie baking mom I was 10 years ago. I can't do that. That's not me anymore. I love cookies, and God knows I love cookies, but and I make things like this week I made cinnamon rolls and stuff like that. But it doesn't mean that that's all there is to me. Yeah, I make a pretty mean cup of tea, but that's not who I am. It's just something I can do. Who I am is who I'm becoming. And the day that I stop becoming better than I am today, I'm going to start dying. So do yourself a favor. Don't let people pull you down. Don't let people bother you. Don't let someone else's jealousy towards you bring you down. Be the best version of yourself. If all you can do is distance yourself from that person and pray for them and love on them from a distance, maybe hook up with them once or twice every month or two for coffee to kind of just say, hey, I'm still here. But you also need to set very healthy boundaries with people. And sometimes those boundaries tend to just be severing points. So just be loving to the people around you. Don't let people push you around and continue to grow. So I will talk to you later. I just wanted to bring this out. Today is my 47th birthday, and I thought, we need to talk about growth. And you need to keep growing. God did not put you on this planet to stop growing. So keep growing. You guys have a good night.